Hello, this is Lisa Hazard with Where Else I Could Go, the podcast. And this is my first video podcast. And the reason I'm doing a video podcast is because I want to teach tarot. And it's kind of hard to do just with audio. And I figured I'd try a video. So we'll see how this turns out. So basically, what I want to teach today is from the Rider-Waite tarot. There are a lot of different types of tarot decks. Mainly people use the Rider-Waite themed tarot decks. There's a lot of differences. You have your Rider-Waite, which is the one I'm going to be using here. There's the Fool from the Rider-Waite. And there's Thoth. That's a tarot deck that is kind of based on Rider-Waite, but has a lot to do with astrology. It's a very cool deck. I love all of them, of course. I don't know them all as well as I know the Rider-Waite, which is why I'd like to start teaching this one. There's also Lenormand. I think I'm pronouncing that wrong. I think I've always pronounced that wrong, but it's a really cool deck. And there's also the Tarot de Marseille, which is kind of like the Rider-Waite. It has some different meanings. Like the Rider-Waite, for example, in the cups, you see pictures. Like this picture on the 10 of Cups has a happy family, all the cups, yay, people. But if you look at a Tarot de Marseille deck, it will just have like a bunch of cups. And it won't have people in pictures. And they do have different meanings. Supposedly that is an older version of tarot. So first of all, when you're starting to learn how to read tarot, you have to, I advise, you consider why you're doing it every time you give a reading. Like, do you want to help people? Do you want to learn something about yourself? Do you want to make money? Do you want to explore the mysteries? Like, why do you want to read tarot? Why do you want to offer this person a reading if you're offering a reading to someone? What do you hope to get from it? What do you hope they get from it? So consider all these things before you offer a reading is my advice. And another thing is when you're doing cards, or as a recent podcast visitor, Ebby said, throw the cards. I like that a lot. When you throw the cards, use your intuition. Always trust your intuition. If you just get this feeling and look at your intuition, see where the feeling came from. Did it come from the card? Did it come from the client? Did it come from you and your experiences? If you can do all that, you can do that pretty quick after you do it enough times. And I have a feeling that people listening to the podcast will be able to do this very quickly anyway. Y'all are pretty good with your intuition if you're listening to this, most likely. So one last thing to remember is the perspective. When you're reading tarot, you have to think to yourself, whose perspective are these cards from? Are they from the universe? Are they from the tarot? Are they from me? Are they from my spirit guides? Is this the person I'm reading for's perspective? Is it the person they want me to read about's perspective? I mean, you can go, like, you have to kind of think, well, which do I want? Usually I look at the person I'm reading from's perspective. And if it's about someone they want, then sometimes I might pull a card and be like, what's my perspective? Because I don't know. It kind of helps me clear out like what I don't know during a reading. And for me personally, when I do a reading, I want to help people. I won't work unless I feel like I can, which isn't always good for financial security. But I don't want to give someone a reading and have them pay for it if I can't give what I have to offer the best I can. So let's start with learning tarot. First of all, in Rider-Waite, we have 5 suits. We have the major arcana. And when you talk about the major arcana, well, let me find them. They're around here somewhere. We're talking about these kind of cards. The Fool. These are all, there's 22 major arcana. And that's all of them in order. Woo, count them. Now you know them, right? So like they start on 0 and they end on 21. So that's 22 cards. So numbers in tarot are very important too, which we'll get to. But first of all, the major arcana are just these numbers, 0 through 22, or 21, sorry. And these are more like the big themes, these cards. You see, oh, these are big themes, like, oh my goodness, the Wheel of Fortune, that is like the theme. And then we have the suits. So we have, I'll start with wands. Wands are sticks. And sometimes, in different decks, they might call them different things, but each suit is associated with an element. The major arcana, though, they're associated with all the elements. Different cards are associated with different elements, but the wands in this case, are all associated with the element fire. So fire is a lot about energy work, which is what my podcast is about. So that's right. Maybe that's why I just happened to start with the wands. So in the suit, you have the ace through 10. And then you also have some face cards, just like a playing card deck. You have a jack, a knight, a queen, and a king, or a page, a knight, a queen, and a king. And then we'll go into the pentacles. So the pentacles, here we go. This is what they look like. Sometimes they're called coins or discs. This is the element earth. So this will be like the practical things in life, money, health, jobs, stuff like that. So then we have, let's get these swords. Oh, everybody loves the swords. People say swords are conflict, but I kind of find them as thoughts, way you think about things. Same with the wands and pentacles. You got ace through 10. Look at that card. Isn't that lovely? Oh, yes. By the way, this is the traditional Rider-Waite deck that I'm using for this video and for the demo. Oh, Einstein. Hey, baby. Einstein says, hey. Hey, Ein, give me a kiss. Einstein doesn't want to give me a kiss right now. Or is he thinking about it? He says, I like the 10 of swords. So the swords are air, the element air. Einstein, he came up for the swords because he is a genius kitty and he's a communicator. And swords also have a lot to do with how we communicate. And just like the other suits, they have ace through the 10 and the jack, the page and the knight and the queen and the Einstein and the swords. Hey, Ein, you got to give me some space. Why are you playing with my cord, Ein? Wants to get my cord. So then the last suit we haven't covered is the cups. Who doesn't love the cups? People who don't love love don't love the cups. I love love, so I love the cups. Same thing. You got ace through 10. And then you got your page through your knight, through your queen, through your king. Cups are associated with water and emotions. Oh, come here, Ein. Oh, Ein. He wants his spot by the window, I think. So now I want to talk about the numbers. You got the suits. We have the majors, and they each have lots of elements, all the elements involved in them. And we have the wands, which are fire and energy work, using your juju, getting inspired. And then we have pentacles, which are earth and practical things. Then we have swords, which is like logic, intellect, and it's air element. And we have cups, love, feelings, emotion, intuition, psychic side. So the energy work and the psychic side, yeah, that kind of separate them into two different suits, but they kind of go together. They all kind of work together. I want to talk about the numbers now, because if you know the suits and you know the numbers, you can pretty much read any tarot deck, I feel. Numbers are very important. So when you look at the tarot, you can find every form of divination in the tarot that there is, pretty much. And numerology is definitely a big part of the tarot. So I will go through, since I like the cups so much, I'll use the cups as an example for numbers. So ones or aces are about opportunities, and so is the 0 for the Fool. It's about like open opportunities, and numerology is God force number. It's like anything can happen. But with the ace or a 1, it's the beginning of something. It's an opening, it's a start. And with a 2, two things come together. And it's a combination. So with 3, it's a number of inspiration. It's a number of combination into something and making plans. Oh, one thing I do want to mention about numbers is that even numbers tend to be more like pausing numbers. And odd numbers seem to be more like action numbers. So when you get to a 3, you're inspired and you do something about it, kind of. And then 4s are about like service and sometimes some people associate 4s with love, but it's kind of like service love, angels. No, 3 is the number of angels. And 4 is the number of angels. And going back to 3, if you know anything about the Ascended Masters, 3 is a number of the Ascended Masters. Inspiration and growing your life, growing. So 4 is a pause number, and it's about service to others, usually in some way. 5 is a change, big changes with 5. 5, 5, 5, change, change, change. There's lots of things with 5, but it's a very dynamic number. Big things happen with 5. Then we have 6, and a 6 is a pausing number. Now 6 to me is the number of love and duty, not like service, like 4, but it's like duty. And it's love. 6 is just love, love, love. It's also a kindness number. I like the number 6. That's my mom's favorite number. And then we have 7. Now 7s are like active waiting. 7 is an odd number, so it's moving, but you're not doing much in the 7 in the tarot. It's a study card. It's philosophy. It's religion. It's spirituality. It's learning. That's the 7. So you're actively doing something, but you're not physically doing it. You're kind of processing actively. And then later on, when you get to the 8, you do something about it. The 8 is leadership. It's taking control. It's owning yourself, owning something else, being on top or in control. And 9s are about completion. 9s are about, it's over, we've done it. Yeah. It's about giving back. It's about the world itself. It's about where you fit in the world. That's what the number 9 is about. How you give to the world, how you contribute, and what the world contributes to your life. And then when you get to 10, it's kind of like the 1, because in numerology, you will break down the numbers. Let me explain that. So if you're looking at the number 10, of course, there's an X here, which makes it a little more complicated. But with a 10, let's say it's a 1 and a 0, you'd say 1 plus 0, and then that takes 1. So that would be a 1 card. So this is a beginning and an end. So as a 9 is a like completion, this is a new beginning or a final kind of pause right before you start something new. So those are the numbers. And what I was talking about with combining like the 1 and the 0 to make 10, I want to use an example of that with the major arcana. So you can have some tricks to use there. Let's go with the devil. So 15, right? In Roman numerals. So if this is a 1 and a 5, you would add them together and get 6. It's a number of love. And it's also a number of sacrifice sometimes, 6, love. And so you can look at that and look at the pictures and use your intuition with everything that I've taught you in this podcast, I hope. If you have any questions, please leave me a message, email me, and I'd like to thank my sponsor, Everclear. And Everclear is the advice app I work for, and you can get your advice from psychics and empaths. And it's an app, it's a website, it's all out there. You can find it. It's wonderful. You can find the guidance you need to create the life you deserve there. You can have it anyway. It's all up to you in the end. And I know if you want to learn tarot, you can do it. Just take your time, you practice, and these are just some basics to help you get started. I'm hoping to do some videos or some podcasts on each card or each suit, like I did in the classes I taught locally. Anyway, thank you so much for watching or listening. I hope this turns out. We'll see. And have a great day. Bye.